approach every vehicle with the mindset to be ready to kill everybody in the vehicle. That was from a captain by the Kansas City Police Department. Welcome to my world where all is well. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that create the things. I am also the Queen Chief of Three Kings. Today is Thursday, September the 12th, 2023, and it's currently 10:30 a.m. in the morning. If you're still watching, please like, please share, please subscribe. Please, thank you so much for subscribing. Please turn on that notification bell. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. This video today, Officer Edward Williams. Officer Edward Williams is a white male police officer. He's worked at the Kansas City Police Department for over 21 years. He filed a lawsuit for being told to target black drivers in minority neighborhoods in order to meet his ticket quota, which was 100 a month. They was expected to pull over 10 cars a day. Now, having ticket quotas is illegal. I'm in the state of Georgia, but it's also illegal in Missouri. They made, most states and cities made ticket quotas illegal, so the city won't depend on traffic citations for their budget. But I thank God for Officer Edward Williams. As a white officer, he was called names that you would mostly see white people call black people as an insult. He was called emphasis like the N-word and things like that. But he has filed the lawsuit, the EEOC, for violation of Civil Rights Act of 1964. The department participated in racial profiling, and when they had black officers, they would harass them and make them feel uncomfortable until most of them just quit. But he was told to target low-income neighborhoods, low-income areas, because he was told that it's easier to write multiple tickets there. And the reason being, me as a former officer, most people with low incomes don't have the money to pay for the insurance or the registration that is needed. So he knew, and they knew, that he would get multiple tickets in low income areas. He went to the department leaders to file a complaint. They began to retaliate against him and told him they found nothing wrong. Chief Stacey Graves put out a statement saying that her department is dedicated to policing that is both equitable and fair in all aspects of our duties. That's what the police chief said, Stacey Graves. But when Williams filed a complaint, he was reprimanded. Yep, he was reprimanded, and but he reported multiple violations to his supervisors, superiors, and he was reprimanded and received unsatisfactory marks on his evaluations and benefits taken away from him, and for writing low ticket numbers. But the DOJ is now investigating the Kansas City Police Department for racial discrimination. His lawsuit has been filed at the Jackson County Circuit Court. But the police leaders themselves are disobeying the law, and police officers and leaders are hired to enforce the law. But when I was researching, looking up this lawsuit, that he put in a lawsuit that the captain wanted, he didn't name the captain. I didn't get the captain's name, but a Kansas City Police Department captain said to approach every car with the mindset to be ready to kill everybody in the car. That is a dangerous mindset to have. I don't recall being trained that in a police academy. Now, we were trained officer safety techniques, I'm not going to discuss those techniques in public on social media. I don't want the bad guy that might be listening to try to take advantage of those techniques. But there are certain techniques we were told to do so that if the bad guy happens to be in the car, we would be ready. but to approach every vehicle with the mindset to kill everybody in the car. I think that's a horrible mindset to have. Now, when I was playing cops and robbers, the majority of my time, time was I was on the night shift. At the Kansas City Police Department, I guess they don't get a chance to choose their shifts because as a punishment, you were put on the night shift. Which I think is crazy, but I remember when I used to play cops and I remember hearing an officer. He was a white male officer. We was at the squad room table, and he told me he was gonna go on this particular street called King Arnold Street, and he was gonna park his vehicle there and pull over every vehicle he saw. I don't know why he said that, but King Arnold Street in the city I used to work for is predominantly Hispanic. It was when I was there. I don't know if it changed in the last 3 years, but when you targeting low income, I mean, this is crazy. And in the midst of me researching this, I just found out Beverly Hills, California, they pulled over within the last 2 years over 1,300 African Americans in vehicles pulled over them, and only two had out of 1,300, only two had criminal charges. But don't quote me on that because I'm gonna research that after this. I'm gonna do this video, and then I researched the other email that was sent to me. If you would like to be a part of the Queen Chief of Three Kings CI Confidential Informant Secret Squirrel Society, I never reveal my sources. You may send me an email at alliswell71479@gmail.com. My email is listed in the channel description. But I'm enjoying researching this. It's heartening. It's heart sickening that this is going on in so many police departments. But I believe the more police officers or former officers speak out about this, that something will be done, the change will come. And I understand because he worked there for 21 years and he's just now filing his case this year. I don't know what the reasons are. I'm not judging him. I worked for 13 years as an officer. Well, I did bring up like he did bring up, certain things that we thought was racial profiling, but just like was done to him, it was done to me. It was instead of it being addressed, my own disciplinary record was brought back up into my face. But I think that's a dangerous mindset to have, to approach every vehicle with the mindset to kill everybody in the vehicle. Whatever captain said this, I don't work at the police department, but I think this captain should definitely be investigated. My thing is what I did not understand. The police, my former employer, the police department I used to work for, has a traffic unit. The city is only 4 square miles. I think we have a mile or two of interstate as well. Why do we need a traffic unit for a 4 square mile city? And I believe it was 5 officers on this traffic unit. We didn't have a quota. They didn't call it a quota. They call it standard operating procedures. And just like, so officers and police leaders have a way of getting around the word quota and still using it to take off points on your evaluation. Now, when I became a corporal, then a sergeant, I was trained to take off points or don't give an officer a 3 if they didn't meet their quota. But there's just like it's ways around the police leaders not making it a quota, but a standard operating procedure to have so many tickets a month. There's certain ways around how. Now my officers didn't know this. I didn't tell them, hey, you're gonna get. I never told any of my officers that they had to write a certain number of tickets so they would get a 1, 2, or a 3. I also never took away a 1, 2, or 3 for them for not making a certain quota. Every month they had they would bring out a list of everybody tickets, how many tickets each officer wrote. So it seemed like to me the tickets was the most important thing. Now, I used to want to be a police chief. I really did. But what I've gone through, I do not have that desire anymore. And I do blame my former agency for taking that desire away from me. But in my mind, what I would personally think to look at is I would look at the previous year or the previous month problem areas. Hey, did we get more complaints in the traffic going through our city? Or did we get more complaints in the drugs or the domestic violence? And I would make that area of focus for that following month. And I would say, hey, officers, we got enough tickets written. Y'all did wonderful last month, but we've received more complaints that there's too many officers writing tickets and there's not enough officers patrolling these streets to prevent entering autos or sitting stationary at a hotel or at a restaurant or whatnot to stop break-ins or things like that. I don't think that should be the only thing police agencies should go by is the quota that they try to now say standard operating procedures. At least that's how it was done at my former employer. I don't know how it was done in Missouri, but guess what? The DOJ has gotten involved. The Department of Justice has gotten involved with the Kansas City Police Department to try to investigate these racial complaints of racial profiling, but targeting drivers, and it's the truth. They wanted him to target drivers in black neighborhoods and also target drivers in low income areas. I mean, the people are already poor, and you're supposed to serve and protect everybody, not just the high income. And he was told, hey, it's the high income areas, the ones that's paying our salary anyway. So don't target them because they paying our salary. So don't target them don't give them tickets. Let's not serve and protect. And he was, and also a part that I read was they was told to only answer the calls that was coming from the white neighborhoods, and don't worry. So the low income areas, I don't know why they're low income. The Kansas City Police Department was thinking they was low income probably because they probably thought they was lazy or didn't want to work or take advantage of the system. You don't ever know what anybody's issue is. People have different abilities, different disabilities. You never know. A single mother, a husband may have died or got killed. You never know why somebody's in a low income area. But for them to not receive the same services and protection that they deserved because someone in the Kansas City Police Department said, hey, we only gonna answer the calls in the white neighborhoods, or they gonna tell they subordinates to only answer the calls that come out in the white neighborhoods because they are the one that's paying our salaries in a way. I do not think that's an appropriate way to enforce the laws of the land and serve and protect your people. So Chief Stacy Graves, it's really nice what you wrote, that the department is dedicated to policing that is both equitable and fair in all aspects of our duties. That sounds so good. It sounds so good, but the actions are not consistent with the words that are coming out of your mouth. So let's just make that happen. But if you're in the Kansas City If you happen to live in Kansas City and you happen to be a minority and you happen to live in a low income area, documentation beats conversation. You can talk to each other about getting pulled over and everything. Get it documented, record it, write everything down. I would hate for someone to lose their life before action is taken. Start now before that happens. Because if the captain is telling the subordinates to approach every vehicle with the mindset to get ready to kill everybody in that vehicle, I believe that's putting all of y'all in a dangerous situation. And I would hate anything to happen to any of you all. Okay, so that's my thinking thoughts on this subject matter. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for turning on that notification bell. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. All is well. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May my whole life prove that God is good.